Hello, welcome to my channel, Uncovered in Truth, and today we will be talking about why you cannot leave that man. So this will be part 1, and we will be talking about fairy tale conversations. These are the conversations that you have with your partner that feeds into this fairy tale that you have in your mind. You usually make this fairy tale at the beginning of the relationship when they're doing everything correct and right, and you start to imagine what could be before it even happens. So you're imagining the family, the kids, the wealth, the house, the business, whatever it is for you. And when you get into disagreements or arguments, such as it may be cheating, abuse, whatever it is for you, where you know that's something that God doesn't have for you in a relationship, he starts to speak these words that speak into that fantasy. So if it is, I can't wait to have kids with you, I can't wait to marry you, whatever it is, he speaks into this fantasy, therefore you stay. So, for example, hey, he likes a girl pic on Instagram, whatever the social media site that you use, and then you address the issue. Hey, I don't like that, I didn't feel comfortable. He brushes off your feelings. Then when it gets to the point where you're about to leave, hey, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I only have eyes for you. You're the woman that I want to have kids with. So I wouldn't even look at these other women. I don't see them as being the mother of my children. So it speaks and validates what you want. But then you never move forward in the things that you want in the relationship, such as the family, having the respect. So it keeps you in this loophole where your needs aren't getting met. He speaks into the fantasy. Your needs aren't getting met. And he speaks into the fantasy. Your needs are getting met. And he speaks into this fantasy. So you're holding on to this because it's like he gets close and he makes changes towards it, but then he backtracks. Gets close and makes changes towards it, and then he backtracks. And this keeps you hoping and praying that we're so close, it could happen, that you do not leave, which is why you stay. A lot of times these fairy tale conversations are rooted in what we wanted as a kid. We made this imaginary world where we got our needs met, and a lot of time it involved a man, where he provided, he protected. We saw these things in movies and we dreamed about it, we fantasized about it. So we created this fairy tale and we went out into the dating world with this fairy tale, and these men spoke into it. The thing about fairy tales is it's mainly about feelings, it's not reality. When you look at the princess and all these things, she's running away from home, she's not dealing with any of her trauma. So she's chasing behind this man, hoping that he will fix her, where he's just looking at her outer appearance, her beauty, as to why he wants her. He doesn't want her heart, who she is. He's barely spent time with her. He's alone creating a fantasy just based on her looks. And we don't see what happens after that fairy tale in these movies. So it teaches you as a girl to look for this dream that you built in your head and to attract men that just want the outer appearance. But when it comes to who you are and what you actually want, they don't care. So it leaves you empty, in a sense, not getting what you want. So you're so drained that you're waiting for these words for him to speak or to actually act in a certain way, that it keeps you coming for these breadcrumbs constantly, based off of what he's saying or what he's not showing you, and you're not falling for consistency. You're falling for these temporary changes. So when you find, mostly you're in love with this fantasy. You're not looking for love. You're not looking for a partnership. You're looking for this fantasy that you built when you were 8 or 9 years old. So why is it so hard for you to leave? Because you're holding on to this fantasy that you have had for years, probably decades, depending on your age. So it's very hard to let go of that fantasy when this is all you've known as love. So you're choosing between, do I let him go, which means letting go of this fantasy, or do I actually leave and discover what love truly is, which can be very hard. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to let go of the fantasy, and you're stuck. When this is all you've known, it's a little version of you holding on, that's little, whatever your name could possibly be, just saying, don't let it go. It's like a kid, you're selfish with it. You don't want to share your toy. You want to alter yourself. You're scared that I'll never get this again. When in reality, you don't want that love again. It's not even love. So you have to make a decision to let go of that little version of you that wanted this fantasy and going out and discovering what love truly is. For me, that was spending time with God, Him defining love for me, because I had no definition of it. I had no viewpoint of it. So, write down that fantasy you had. Bring it before God, because a lot of times it's easy for us to idolize men, but we're not even idolizing the man. We're idolizing this fantasy that we don't want to let go of. And we have to spend time with God and actually discover what love truly is. And it's not a man in this fantasy of him meeting all your needs, because even when you do meet your partner, life is still going to happen to you. He's not going to fulfill all your needs. So write that down. That's a homework for you today. Write that down. What is this fantasy that you're chasing? And asking God and bringing it before Him to take that fantasy out of me, so that I can see the reality of who I'm dating, who I'm married to, whatever it is. So I could deal with the reality of who that person is, because it's not fair to them either. Because you have to ask yourself, do you truly love them? Or is it a fake version of them in their head? In your head, not theirs, in your head. Are you just picking men to fit into this fantasy? So you have to look at that. So before we go, like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you think.